If you're over 60, the very first thing you eat each morning, the food you reach for out of habit, routine, or even comfort, could be quietly damaging your heart. Yes, I'm talking about breakfast. We've been told it's the most important meal of the day, but what if I told you that some of the most common trusted breakfast foods, even ones labeled as healthy, might be doing more harm than good? As a heart doctor, I've seen it far too often. Seniors come into my clinic saying, "Doctor, I eat light. I don't touch bacon. I avoid fast food." But what they don't realize is that the very foods they've relied on for years, orange juice, toast, yogurt, even oatmeal, may be silently destroying their heart's health. These breakfast mistakes don't cause pain and they don't make a sound, but they quietly raise your blood pressure, inflame your arteries, and interfere with life-saving medications. In this video, I'm begging you, please stop eating these 7 breakfasts until you hear the full truth. Because the first one we'll talk about might already be sitting on your table right now. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 1. Instant oatmeal, the sugar trap in disguise. Every morning, millions of older Americans reach for a warm, familiar bowl of instant oatmeal. It's quick, it's easy, it feels healthy. After all, you've heard for years that oatmeal is heart healthy, haven't you? But here's the truth your doctor probably hasn't told you. That little packet of flavored instant oats might be quietly damaging your heart. And if you're over 60, the consequences can be far more serious than you realize. Most instant oatmeal packets, especially the flavored ones like maple and brown sugar or apple cinnamon, are loaded with added sugars and artificial sweeteners. One packet can contain 12 to 18 grams of sugar, sometimes more than a glazed donut. And if you're like many older adults trying to eat clean, you might be eating 2 packets. That's nearly your full day's sugar limit before 9 a.m. When you consume that sugar, especially first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, your blood glucose spikes rapidly. This doesn't just make you feel tired or shaky later. It sends your insulin surging, your inflammatory markers rising, and puts direct strain on your arteries and heart muscle. Over time, those daily surges of sugar trigger chronic inflammation in your vascular system, a hidden but dangerous condition that stiffens your arteries and destroys your heart's ability to pump efficiently. It accelerates atherosclerosis, the buildup of plaque in your arteries, and increases your risk for heart attacks, strokes, and sudden cardiac death. And here's the part that breaks my heart as a physician. So many seniors think they're doing the right thing. They've given up bacon, they avoid pastries, they eat low fat. But in reality, their breakfast has become a silent saboteur, a sugary trap wrapped in health branding. This isn't just about sugar. Many flavored oats also contain sodium, preservatives, and refined grains, a cocktail of ingredients that burden your kidneys, raise your blood pressure, and quietly destroy your cardiovascular health. You won't feel it after one bowl, but over weeks, months, years, it adds up. And by the time you notice symptoms, fatigue, shortness of breath, chest pressure, the damage is often already done. You deserve better. Your heart deserves better. Instead of instant oats, choose steel-cut oats, cooked slowly. Add a handful of fresh berries or a pinch of cinnamon, not sugar. Let your breakfast be what it's meant to be, a source of strength, not a source of strain. But if something as trusted as oatmeal can hide danger in plain sight, what other common breakfast food might be harming your heart even more than a sausage or a slice of cake? Let's talk about that next. You might already have it sitting in your fridge right now. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're with me. Now let's move on to point number 2. 2. Toast with butter or margarine, a silent artery clogger. For many older adults, there's a certain comfort in morning routines. A hot cup of coffee, a slice of toast with a pat of butter or margarine. It feels simple, familiar, harmless. But what if I told you that this small habit, repeated daily, could be quietly damaging your heart one bite at a time? Here's what's really happening. Most store-bought breads used for toast, especially white or rich varieties, are made from highly refined grains. These grains have been stripped of their fiber and nutrients, leaving behind simple starches that convert into sugar the moment they hit your digestive system. Your body responds with an insulin surge, raising inflammation levels in your arteries and causing blood sugar instability, both of which place enormous pressure on your aging heart. Now add the topping, butter or margarine. Butter is high in saturated fat, which raises your LDL cholesterol, the type that clogs arteries and narrows blood vessels. And many margarine spreads, especially the cheaper non-refrigerated ones, still contain hydrogenated oils or trans fats, which are even worse. Trans fats don't just increase bad cholesterol, they lower good cholesterol, HDL, and directly damage the inner lining of your arteries, making them stiff, brittle, and vulnerable to rupture or blockage. The result? You're feeding your body a seemingly innocent breakfast that slowly destroys your heart's resilience, increasing your risk of stroke, congestive heart failure, and sudden cardiac death, all without a single symptom in the beginning. The most dangerous heart habits are the quiet ones, the ones we don't question because they've become tradition. As a cardiologist, I've sat with too many patients, men and women in their 70s and 80s, who said, "But I don't eat fast food, I just have toast and butter." They had no idea that their daily choice was thickening their blood, raising their pressure, and silently laying the groundwork for a life-threatening event. If you truly want to protect your heart, start with your plate. Trade that white toast for whole grain or sprouted grain bread, which slows sugar absorption and nourishes your heart. Replace butter or margarine with a thin layer of avocado or heart-healthy olive oil spread. Small changes that make a lasting difference. Because when you're over 60, every bite matters. Your heart is no longer as forgiving as it once was. And if something as ordinary as toast and butter can quietly erode your heart's strength, what happens when your breakfast includes processed meat, something salty, fatty, and loaded with chemicals? Let's talk about that next, because it's not just your arteries at risk, it's your life. 3. Breakfast sausage, the hidden salt and chemical bomb. There's something deeply nostalgic about the smell of breakfast sausage sizzling in the pan. It reminds many of us of slow Sunday mornings, family breakfasts, or simpler times. But behind that familiar smell is a dangerous truth that too few seniors are ever warned about. Breakfast sausage is quietly, steadily damaging your heart, and for some, it may already be too late. The problem isn't just the fat, it's the full chemical cocktail that sausage brings to your plate. Most breakfast sausages, even those labeled lean or chicken, are highly processed, loaded with sodium nitrates, preservatives, saturated fats, and in many cases, even hidden sugars. Just one serving can contain over 400 to 600 milligrams of sodium. And that's if you stop at one patty. Most people don't. That's nearly a third of the recommended daily salt intake for older adults in one bite. What happens next inside your body is more than just a little salt and grease. That sodium, causes your blood vessels to retain fluid, increasing your blood volume and placing massive pressure on your heart walls. Your heart must work harder to pump, to keep up, to fight against the very thing you just fed it. Over time, this silent overwork leads to hypertension, arterial stiffness, and eventual heart failure. And it doesn't stop there. The nitrates and chemical preservatives found in processed meats are directly linked to vascular inflammation and oxidative stress, which weakens your heart's lining and can lead to plaque buildup, clots, or even sudden cardiac arrest. These compounds have also been associated with increased risks of colorectal cancer and diabetes, both of which place further strain on your cardiovascular system. I've had senior patients come to me confused, frustrated. But doctor, they say, I eat healthy. No fast food, no soda, just eggs and sausage for breakfast. They had no idea that what felt like a protein-packed morning ritual was slowly, silently destroying their heart from within. Here's what I want you to understand. At your age, your body cannot afford to fight this battle every morning. The resilience you once had in your 40s or even 50s is not the same today. The arteries are more fragile, the kidneys slower, the heart less forgiving. And the damage from processed meat doesn't announce itself with loud symptoms. It arrives quietly until the moment it doesn't. Choose something gentler. Your breakfast doesn't have to be bland, but it does need to be clean. Lean, unprocessed proteins like boiled eggs, grilled tofu, or even a small amount of low-sodium smoked salmon can nourish without harm. Use herbs and spices for flavor, not chemicals and salt. And if sausage, that classic American breakfast staple, can carry this much danger, what about the creamy, fruity yogurt cup sitting quietly in your fridge, dressed up as health food? You might be shocked to learn what's hiding inside. Let's take a closer look in the next section, before it reaches your spoon tomorrow morning. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. Now let's keep going with point number 4. 4. Flavored yogurt. Sweet poison in a plastic cup. It's one of the most common breakfast choices for seniors trying to eat healthy. A small cup of flavored yogurt, maybe peach, strawberry, or blueberry. It's marketed as heart healthy, full of probiotics, calcium for your bones, and perfect for digestion. But here's the painful truth. That innocent little cup might be damaging your heart far more than you realize. Most flavored yogurts lining the dairy aisle are packed with added sugars, artificial flavors, fruit syrups, and chemical thickeners. One 6-ounce serving can contain 18 to 25 grams of sugar, often more sugar than a candy bar. And if you're eating one every day, especially first thing in the morning, that sugar load is hitting your bloodstream hard and fast. When you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, your body simply can't process sugar the way it used to. That sudden spike in blood glucose forces your pancreas to release large amounts of insulin, leading to a sharp crash later. And repeated spikes like these cause chronic inflammation, insulin resistance, and arterial damage. Over time, these patterns don't just cause fatigue or dizziness, they destroy your heart from the inside out. The high sugar content contributes to plaque buildup in your arteries, stiffening them, narrowing the passage for blood, and setting the stage for heart attacks, strokes, and heart failure. And the worst part? Many seniors think they're making a good choice. They believe yogurt is the safe option. They trust the packaging that says low fat or healthy gut. But low-fat yogurt is often worse. It removes the fat and replaces it with more sugar and starch, creating a product that looks healthy but behaves like dessert. As a physician, I've had heartbreaking conversations with patients who believed they were doing everything right. They gave up bacon, they walked daily, they took their pills, but that one little yogurt cup, eaten daily for years, was slowly damaging their heart with each spoonful. No symptoms, no warnings, until it was too late. You can still enjoy yogurt, but you have to make the right choice. Choose plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt and add real fruit at home. A few blueberries or a drizzle of honey, not from a factory but from your kitchen, makes all the difference. You deserve a breakfast that heals, not harms. And if something so widely trusted, so carefully marketed as healthy, can turn toxic with age, what about that one drink so many of us were raised to believe was good for us? The drink that comes in a clear glass and claims to start your day right? I'm talking about orange juice, and what you're about to learn might change the way you see your breakfast table forever. 5. Orange juice, a glass of sugar without the fiber. It's the morning drink many of us grew up with. A bright golden glass of orange juice, served with breakfast, poured for the grandkids, celebrated in commercials as a symbol of health and vitality. But for older adults, especially those over 60, this seemingly wholesome drink can quietly, steadily be damaging your heart in ways you never imagined. The problem isn't the oranges themselves, it's what happens when the fruit is stripped of its fiber, pressed into liquid, and served in concentrated form. What you're left with is a glass of pure, rapidly absorbed sugar, hitting your bloodstream with full force. An average 8-ounce glass of orange juice contains over 20 grams of sugar, and many seniors pour double that without thinking twice. When that much sugar enters your body, especially in the morning when you're in a fasted state, it causes a sharp blood sugar spike, triggering the release of insulin and setting off inflammation in your blood vessels. This inflammatory response isn't just temporary, it gradually erodes the inner lining of your arteries, making them more rigid, more vulnerable to plaque buildup, and less able to expand and contract the way a healthy heart needs them to. And that's where the real danger begins. With repeated exposure to these sugar surges, your cardiovascular system begins to deteriorate. Arteries thicken, blood pressure rises, and the risk of atherosclerosis, heart arrhythmias, and congestive heart failure grows. You may not feel it right away, but over time, that daily orange juice habit could be the very thing that's destroying your heart's ability to function. As a cardiologist, I've watched seniors struggle with unexpected symptoms, fatigue, dizziness, shortness of breath, only to discover their morning juice routine was sabotaging their health. They were eating clean, avoiding processed food, even walking daily, but their healthy orange juice, it was silently loading their system with more sugar than a can of soda. And unlike eating a whole orange, which contains fiber that slows down sugar absorption and helps regulate blood sugar levels, juice bypasses the body's natural defenses. It's all the sugar, none of the protection. If you truly want to support your heart, ditch the juice. Eat a piece of fresh fruit instead. Choose a glass of water with lemon or herbal tea. Your heart needs calm, balance, and nourishment, not sugar bombs disguised as health food. Because if your breakfast drink can betray you, what about the soft, golden stack of pancakes on your plate, drenched in syrup, warm with nostalgia, and quietly eating away at your arteries? Let's talk about that next. What you're about to hear may forever change the way you see comfort food. 6. Pancakes and Syrup, a sweet start that ends in strain. There's something warm and comforting about a stack of pancakes. For many older adults, they represent memories, family breakfasts, grandchildren's smiles, the aroma filling a cozy kitchen on a Sunday morning. But what those golden pancakes hide beneath their fluffy surface is a silent threat that could be damaging your heart every time you take a bite. Traditional pancakes are made with refined white flour, the kind that's stripped of fiber and nutrients. Once digested, that flour rapidly turns into glucose, flooding your bloodstream with sugar. But the real danger comes when you pour syrup on top. Whether it's maple or artificial, just 2 tablespoons of syrup can contain over 25 grams of pure sugar, and many people pour far more than that. This combination, simple carbs from pancakes and concentrated sugars from syrup, causes a sharp spike in blood sugar and insulin, followed by a steep crash. Over time, this roller coaster takes a heavy toll. It fuels chronic inflammation, damages the walls of your arteries, and leads to insulin resistance, all of which directly destroy your heart's ability to work efficiently. What's worse is how silently it all happens. You may feel fine after breakfast, you may even feel comforted, but inside, your cardiovascular system is under siege. Those sugar surges stiffen your arteries, elevate your blood pressure, and push your heart to pump harder than it should. For older adults, this kind of daily strain can lead to arterial blockage, heart rhythm disorders, and eventually heart failure. I've cared for seniors who believed they were making a harmless choice, choosing pancakes over bacon, syrup over processed snacks. But when their heart scan told a different story, they were stunned. The truth is, this kind of breakfast isn't just indulgent, it's dangerous. It offers sweetness on the tongue and stress to the heart. You don't have to give up the pleasure of a warm, satisfying breakfast, but you do need to reimagine it. Try pancakes made with oat flour or almond flour. Top them with a few fresh berries instead of syrup, and let your breakfast be both comforting and safe. Your heart doesn't need sugar, it needs steady, nourishing care. And if your plate can quietly betray you with sweetness, what happens when you skip breakfast altogether, thinking you're helping your health, when in fact, you may be doing even more damage? Let's talk about that next. The danger of doing nothing might be even greater than you think. 7. Skipping breakfast entirely, an invisible threat. Of all the breakfast mistakes seniors make, this one may be the most dangerous because it looks like you're doing something healthy. You're not overeating. You're not choosing sugar or salt. In fact, you're not eating at all. And that's the problem. Many older adults skip breakfast because they're not hungry in the morning, trying to lose weight, or believe it helps with blood sugar control. But skipping breakfast entirely can set off a chain reaction in your body that quietly damages your heart, and you won't even feel it happening. When you wake up, your body is already in a mild state of stress. Your blood sugar is low, your cortisol is naturally elevated, and your heart is working to maintain balance. But when you deprive it of nutrition, especially after 10 to 12 hours of fasting, you push that stress even further. Your body begins to release more stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, which raise your blood pressure, increase your heart rate, and constrict your blood vessels. This state of heightened stress, especially when repeated daily, wears down the cardiovascular system. It contributes to hypertension, heart rhythm disturbances, and even atherosclerotic damage. Over time, your heart becomes weaker, more reactive, and less capable of adapting to physical or emotional strain. In plain terms, you're asking your heart to work harder without giving it fuel, and that kind of demand slowly destroys its strength. Even worse, many seniors take heart medications for blood pressure, blood sugar, or cholesterol first thing in the morning. Taking these on an empty stomach can lead to lightheadedness, sudden blood pressure drops, or fainting, which in turn increases the risk of falls, strokes, and cardiac episodes. Skipping breakfast isn't just risky, it's silently, invisibly damaging your heart every single day. The solution isn't a large or complicated meal. Even something as simple as half a banana, a boiled egg, or a piece of whole grain toast can stabilize your system and give your heart the support it needs to face the day. It's not about eating more, it's about not leaving your body defenseless. And if not eating at all can cause this much harm, what can we do starting today to finally protect and nourish the heart that's carried us for a lifetime? In the final section, let's bring everything together, and I'll show you how simple, heart-smart breakfast can help you reclaim your energy, your rhythm, and your life. A heart that still has time. Choose breakfast that loves you back. Your heart has been beating for you every single day of your life, over 2 billion times by the time you reach your 60s. And yet the foods we choose each morning can either honor that gift or quietly undo it. From instant oatmeal laced with sugar to salty sausages to skipping breakfast entirely, what may feel small or familiar could be silently damaging your heart. These habits, repeated daily, lead to inflammation, high blood pressure, arterial stiffness, and eventually destroy your heart's ability to keep you strong. But here's the good news: you are not too late. The heart is resilient. Every new choice you make, every clean, simple breakfast can start reversing the damage. Think gently cooked oats, fresh fruit, whole grain toast, a boiled egg, or herbal tea. These aren't just foods, they're medicine. You don't need a perfect diet. You need consistency, awareness, and care. Your next breakfast could be the beginning of healing, not just for your body, but for your peace of mind. So as you move forward, ask yourself, is my breakfast serving my heart or stealing from it? Because your next heartbeat isn't just another beat. It's a second chance, one you still have time to protect. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.